Fireworks create dazzling displays of color, light, and sound using carefully mixed chemical compounds. Each firework contains a fuel, an oxidizer, colorants, a binder, and a fuse. The fuel and oxidizer, often black powder made from charcoal, sulfur, and potassium nitrate, provide the rapid combustion that propels and bursts the shell. Tiny pellets called stars hold the color chemistry. When the shell explodes, those stars ignite and emit light. Each firework color comes from metal salts that heat up and release light at specific wavelengths. Strontium compounds produce red, sodium gives off bright yellow, and barium yields green. Copper compounds create blue, while mixing copper with strontium or other salts can produce pinks and purples. Aluminum and magnesium burn intensely hot, making bright white or silver sparks, and combining them with titanium creates brilliant flashes. Binders hold the stars together and control how they burn, while timed fuses ensure each burst happens exactly when planned. Safety is critical since oxidizers and fuels can be dangerous if mishandled. That is why professional displays rely on precise formulas and strict safety measures to control color, timing, and effect. The next time you watch fireworks light up the sky, remember every burst is chemistry in motion and a carefully orchestrated mix of science and spectacle.